Hold on a second. I think I have something to tell you. Well, I didn't know Patrick has an older sister named Sam Starfish, and her last name is Starfish, just like Patrick's. Well, in the beginning of the show, Patrick got up and he starts cleaning his house. And then Patrick wants to welcome his sister. Delilah wants to know who the sister is. Then, of course, it's Patrick's sister, Sam. Also, Delilah says, "Hey Patrick, what's with the singing?" And just like that, when Delilah says, "Hey Patrick, what's with the singing?" Then Patrick says, "Oh, nothing. I'm just cleaning my house to welcome someone." Then Delilah says, "Who is it?" Then Patrick says, "My sister, Sam." And then Delilah says, "That's great, and that's awesome. I didn't know you had a sister." And then Patrick says, "Nobody does." Then Delilah says, "What's wrong, Patrick? Don't you want to see your sister?" And then Patrick says, "Of course I do, but nobody does. I lost her at Doozer Creek when we were little." And then Delilah says, "Geez, I'm sorry." And just like that, when Delilah says, "Geez, I'm sorry, Patrick." And then Patrick says, "Sam took care of me when I was with you, Delilah. We both met each other when we were little, but I accidentally lost Sam, and now I can't see her." And then Delilah says, "Hey, it's alright, Patrick. You get to see her today again." Then Patrick says, "I can?" Then Delilah says, "Yeah, today. You get to see her today again." And then Patrick says, "Great, that's wonderful." And then Delilah says, "I think Sam's coming just about now." And then the bus arrives, and then Sam smashed the door open, and she stomped her foot on the ground. And then, of course, it's Patrick's sister, Sam, and she's much bigger than Patrick. And then Patrick says, "Sam, I'm so glad to see you." And then Sam said, "Brother." And just like that, when Sam Starfish says, "Brother," and then Patrick says, "Sis," and then it's funny when Sam hugged and Patrick around. And then Delilah says, "I think she's happy to see Patrick." And then Delilah says, "Wow, it is kind of funny because her voice sounds just like Patrick." And then Sam says, "You and me get to have fun together." And she just flinged Patrick off. Then Patrick says, "It looks like she's so happy to see me." And then Delilah says, "Hey Patrick, can your sister introduce me?" Then Patrick says, "Of course." And then Patrick says, "Sam, this is Delilah. She's a purple cat." And then Delilah says, "And him and me are roommates, right, Sam?" And then Sam Starfish says, "Purple kitty touch, brother, makes sister Sam mad." And